Okay, we're looking at PrepTest 49. This is section 4, question 7, which asks us to basically find the conclusion of the argument. Okay, and remember, when you think about conclusion questions, answer choices will fall into 4 baskets. 1 will be the conclusion, 2 will be premises, 3 will be inferences, meaning that from reading through the argument, that this answer choice absolutely is true. I mean, as far as what could be inferred from it. And then the 4th basket will be things that you don't know for sure, or they're not even relevant at all. So don't get caught up on trying to distinguish the 3rd and the 4th basket. Just understand that they're there, and what you're looking for is the 1st basket. So a conclusion is something that everything builds up to. Premises build, and then we conclude something. It does not support, the conclusion doesn't support anything. The premises support the conclusion. So if you're ever caught up on 2 answer choices, hopefully you're going to be having a hard time between baskets 1 and 2. And that will be a situation where you have to ask yourself, which one supports the other, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this, this argument. And it can be kind of placed out like this. Basically, we're saying that chemicals used to treat lumbers do not represent a hazard because there's a situation where the fumes won't get to us. Okay? And by the way, I'm pretty general with this because it's irrelevant for me to drill down into the specific details of the stimulus. The bottom line is what's going on in this argument is we're talking about there's no hazard with these chemicals because you will not inhale them, okay? So that's the outside, that's the inside argument. And as happens in most cases, we're going to get an inside argument and then somebody's going to come and refute it. And what's being refuted here is that there's not a hazard, okay? And the person refuting it isn't exactly sure whether or not there is a hazard or not. They're just saying, look, there could be situations where children will actually eat the wood or lick on the wood, and we need to make sure, you're only talking about fumes, we need to make sure that this wood's actually safe if children try to ingest it. Okay, now it's easy when you read the stimulus to be thinking that this is strictly due to children, but the actual conclusion comes in when it's stated, immediate steps should be taken to determine the safety of these chemicals since consumers could ingest them. So they talk about consumers and then they give us an example about children. So bottom line, we have the inside argument that there is no hazard because of inhalation. We know that if you inhale, it's going to be safe. However, the author or the person refuting that is concerned because we don't know what the deal is with ingesting chemicals. And then we give an example of children. So let's go through the answer choices and see if we can determine what's wrong with the wrong answers, okay? So A says the chemicals used in treated lumber are apparently not dangerous to the consumer. Okay, if anything, this kind of is dealing with what the initial argument is, the inside argument that, hey, these things are safe. But we go a lot further than that and saying we're not sure if they're safe or not. So this right here is, if anything, is falling into basket 3 or 4. Okay, let's look at B. Treated lumber is as dangerous when used outdoors as it is when used indoors. Well, that absolutely, we have no idea. That would be a basket 4. We can't even really infer anything from the argument that would lead us to conclude that. C, the effects on humans from the chemicals in treated lumber should be studied. Okay, so if you think about that, we're dealing with a situation where there is no refutation saying that these chemicals are absolutely unsafe. All we're saying is that consumers, we need to do a study to determine if they're, like, as far as ingestion goes or other causes, if there are other ways to get at these chemicals, if that would be unsafe. So C is the correct answer to the question, okay? Let's look at D. Parents should not allow children to put their mouths on playground equipment. Okay, maybe we could infer that, but you could even make an argument that that's not even totally true at all. It could be that these chemicals are very safe when you ingest them. They actually might do better for you. We have no idea. We're just saying we need to study it. So D is really kind of falls into basket 3 or 4 again. You might be able to infer that, but at the same time, it could be totally irrelevant as well. And then E, treated lumber is more dangerous than was once believed. It is possible that you could construe and you could infer something like this because somebody's bringing an additional point to our attention that we need to study what happens when you ingest the lumber. But we don't have any idea if that's true or not true. We could construe that, right? But we don't know, and that's not the point of this argument. The point of this argument is that it refutes the notion that there is absolutely no hazard because we're not sure. We haven't studied when we ingest the material versus when we just inhale it. Okay, so again, the correct answer to the question is C.